Hi guys, Get64 here, and today we are going to talk about Game of Thrones. I bet you did not think that you'd see another video from me about Game of Thrones after how terrible Season 8 was in my coverage and reviews of Season 8. Now, I did put out 2 extra videos after Season 8. One was talking about the character assassinations, and one was a pretty detailed theory that I came up with about how the final season takes place in Westworld. Because I don't come up with any idea and any theory I will accept, because it's got to be better than what we got in Season 8. I will not be buying the final season to complete my collection. I bought every single season as it's released on Blu-ray. Will not buy the final season. I refuse to accept that. I will never watch it again. But what this video is Game of Thrones won an award at the Emmys. Best drama. Here's the thing, is I don't wish any ill will on anybody involved in Game of Thrones. And honestly, the crew was amazing for this final season. The cast was amazing. They did a great job delivering on terrible writing. Seriously, I still felt like, even when the characters were not acting like themselves, you can tell that the writing had let them down. The cast gave their all in this final season. And I felt that, So I'm glad that they won an award, because the majority of everybody involved deserved an award. And at least D&D did not get an award for writing, because they don't deserve it, but I digress. So what this video is actually about is, before the Emmys on the red carpet, Variety went up to Emilia Clarke, who is the actress who played Daenerys Targaryen, and mentioned the fan backlash. And I'm not going to, I'm just going to show you what she said.
There was a little backlash on the last season. There's some critique. What did that feel like?
Well, you know what? It was profoundly flattering, is what it was. Is because when someone cares that much, that they're ready to make such a noise about how they believed the characters should have been finished and how the story should have gone, that's just enormously flattering. That just shows how much everybody loved it. So.
I love that glass half full Emilia Clarke.
Every time, baby, every time.
Emilia Clarke is a national treasure. A national treasure. She understands the fans. She is everything that any fan would want in their franchise. An understanding of how much the fans care about their shows, about their movies, that they've invested their time in. Fans consistently are put off, and it's just, it's just a bunch of angry people ranting about whatever. No, fans understand the franchises. So if you don't listen to the fans, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot. Now, you don't want to direct something by committee. You don't want to put something out by committee. You don't want to put something out just based on fan reactions. However, based on what you're putting out, if it's a trilogy or a series of movies or TV shows, if fans have input throughout that process after each installment, then you should probably listen to kind of what they have to say, if nothing else, to gauge what the reaction might be to what you're going to put out. And if you decide not to do that, then, as I said, you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because that gives you the idea of what kind of reaction they're going to have to whatever it is that you put out there. And if you change your story just because some fans came up with the ending, that's dumb. That's dumb. You can never just change your idea because fans discovered or anticipated whatever the ending was. And if your ending is a certain way, and you wrote the story in a certain way with that ending in mind, what happens when you're writing it is that the characters in the story can evolve beyond what you originally envisioned for the end. That's pretty common sense. Now, I am an amateur writer, so I've never had anything published, but I've written a couple books that are still in progress, and I've been writing them for over 10 years. What happens is when you're writing a book or a movie, TV show, whatever it is, writing is the same across the board. you have a beginning, a middle, and end in mind. You come up with the characters, and sometimes the characters outgrow the story that you predetermined them to follow. So if you have an ending in mind, sometimes the characters, while you're writing it, can change the ending that you had in mind because they take on a life of their own. And if you stick to your final idea of whatever the ending is and ignore that character growth, that organic character growth that's happened throughout writing the story, then you're ruining your story. You have to change your ending to adapt to the story and how it's organically grown. Now, I could go on and on about all the problems wrong with season 8. This is just a little piece of what I think the problem was. They had an idea where the ending was going to go, and they just wanted to get there, and whatever means necessary. This video is not about bashing on season 8. This video is about giving props to Emilia Clarke, because, and not only Emilia Clarke, but also the rest of the crew, for the majority of the cast and crew, have thanked the fans. They acknowledge how integral the fans are to the success of the show, you know. And again, that's rare. But Emilia Clarke in particular, like, this made me want to do a whole video just talking about her and how awesome it is that this was her response to this question. The whole petition for wanting to redo season 8, it was not about anybody who signed that petition. Most people did not think that, hey, we're actually going to get a season 8 remake. We never really thought that when we signed that. The whole point was just to show HBO that it wasn't a minority of fans that disliked the final season. A vast majority of fans hated the final season. Now, if you're in the group that did like the final season, props to you. I'm glad that you were satisfied with what they put out. But you would have to admit, objectively, you were in the minority because the majority of people didn't like season 8. So obviously people who have are subscribers or people who follow my channels, and if you've never seen a video of mine ever before, I do a couple different types of videos. I do some videos where I kind of script what I'm going to say. I do some videos where I have some notes of what I'm going to say, and I have videos where I just freestyle off the top of my head exactly what I'm thinking, whether it makes coherent sense or not. And that's what kind of video this is. I just wanted to get in front of the camera and talk about this because Emilia Clarke deserved a shout out. She really, really did. This is about the fans. It's about acknowledging the fans' disappointment. Game of Thrones prequel is going to be coming out called The Long Night. Here's the problem, and this is what HBO, I think, failed to really understand. I know that they wanted more seasons of Game of Thrones, and D&D didn't want to write them, so HBO let them end it, basically, instead of bringing in somebody else to finish it out. I understand that, but what they don't understand is because of the fan backlash and the lack of acknowledgement and the lack of wanting to actually fix whatever it is that they could do, the lack of damage control or acknowledgement of the fans' disappointment makes us all less interested in this prequel than we were before. I don't care as much about The Long Night now because when you had your chance with the White Walkers, you ruined it. The Night King was a pointless villain, a very anticlimactic villain. And the fact of going back and understanding the origins of where the White Walkers came from and the Long Night and all that stuff originally was a great idea. But the whole time you're watching it, and this is also the problem with prequels in general, the whole time you're going to be watching that prequel, you're going to be thinking about how it ended in Game of Thrones. And it ended in a way that majority of people hated. So that automatically weakens and kind of in a way ruins what you're trying to do with the prequel before it even gets out there. I will be doing reviews of The Long Night when they come out because I want to check it out. And, you know, not only do I feel like I need to do videos on it like I did before, but anybody who's followed my channel knows I'm passionate about specific things, Game of Thrones being one of them, and I want to see what they do. But at the end of the day, I'm just not as hyped about it as I was before season 8 finished. But again, this is a big shout out to Emilia Clarke. You understand the fans. I'm going to miss you on in the Game of Thrones universe. I'm so sorry that your character got ruined as bad as she did. She deserved a lot better than what she got in season 8. What do you guys think? Do you appreciate Emilia Clarke's comments? What do you think about season 8? Comment below. Let me know whatever you're thinking. I want to thank you guys for sticking around on this video. Again, this is very freestyle. Sometimes I do videos like this. It just depends on how I'm feeling or how much I've drank before the video. But seriously, guys, just thank you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, share it, whatever, all that YouTube stuff that everybody says, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geek264, and I'll always tell you the truth.